So there comes a point in every monastic's life where they have to take a good look in the mirror and ask themselves, am I in a cult? And this is a valid question. You should be asking yourself this question. If you're not asking this question, why not? You should be asking this question. Because there's some similarities between religious organizations like ours and some cults. And so it can be a little confusing. And there was a solid week where I was in Anagarika, wearing the big, baggy, weird blue clothes. And for a solid week, I had this question. It was really tormenting me. So I had to look it up and really check and see. So I felt a lot of relief when I found out, oh man, I'm not in a cult. So I want to say that straight up from the beginning, definitely we're not in a cult. I want to make that very clear. We're not in a cult. And when we look at the similarities and differences, we can see why we're not in a cult. Some of the similarities are, we wear some weird clothes and we all kind of dress alike, so people get us confused. And I don't know why cults do that. Maybe it's to identify themselves as other cult members so they know who's in and who's out. But for us, we wear these clothes and people immediately identify us as someone trustworthy, someone that they can speak to and get religious advice about, spiritual advice. And, people come up to you in airports and out of the blue, and they might share things with you that they would not share with anyone else just because we're wearing the clothes, the robes of the Buddha and His Holiness the Dalai Lama, amazing other practitioners. Another similarity we have is that we all live in community. And I don't know why they do it, maybe so they can engage in, easy cultish activities. But for us, we live in a community so we can engage with each other and love and care for each other. We have this fishbowl. People are watching us and really caring for us. And when we start to get astray off the path, engaging in non-virtuous activities, someone can kindly remind us that we're on the Buddha's path and we're engaging in virtuous activities, and we can keep moving forward together, supporting each other and loving each other on this path. Another similarity that can be a little bit confusing is that we both engage in kind of strange, unconventional activities. A lot of things we do here, people might look at and say, why do you do that? Why would you want to do 100,000 prostrations or 100,000 mantras of this and that and do this puja and that puja? And so I don't have time to get into all the reasons, but we have really virtuous, beneficial reasons why we do these weird activities that a lot of the normal society might say, that's really bizarre. I definitely do not want to do that. Staring and looking at our belly button for hours and hours. But yeah, it's really virtuous and beneficial. That's why we stay here. People have been here for decades and they find it really valuable for their life. So when we look at the differences, this is how we can tell we're definitely not in a cult. And I had to ask AI to see what are the characteristics of cults, and how do I know that I'm not in a cult? And AI was very helpful in this regard, as it often is. So first, one of the major characteristics of a cult is that it has an absolute supreme ruler, leader, who is unquestionable, who makes all the rules and is the central figure of this cult. Now, when we're afflicted, we might think that the seniors and the abbess act in this regard. But actually, when we look at it in a realistic manner, when we're calm and rational, we can see, no, we have a lot of incredible amount of freedom to study and meditate on what's beneficial for our mind. And so I find that really valuable. And I think everyone in this room has probably said no to a senior at one time or another, or probably many times, for one reason or another. You're not capable of doing it, you're exhausted, you have an appointment, you have a meeting, there's some reason where you can't do what you're being asked to do. And in a cult, I don't think you're allowed to do that. I'm not an expert, but that's what it sounds like to me. And Venerable often tells the story of having to tell her teacher who she adores, she had to say, sorry, I can't do what you're asking me to do. I'm extremely exhausted right now, and I have to decline your request. And so I think that this gives me a lot of reassurance that we have some autonomy, we have some freedom to engage in activities that are really beneficial for us. We know our own minds, and by studying our minds, we can see which direction we need to go into, and we can ask our teachers and our seniors for advice. But ultimately, when we're on the cushion, we have to make those tough decisions and see what's really needed right now to tame my mind and to move into a virtuous direction. Another characteristic of cults is that they are very exclusive. It sounds like you're either in the cult 100% or you're not in the cult. And so we do the exact opposite. We are very inclusive. We open our doors to anyone. People fill out the form and we never know who's going to show up. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, any color, racial background. I was sitting at sharing the Dharma Day one day many years ago, and Venerable Chuni pointed out that most of the people, like 90% of the people in that room who were guests, would not consider themselves Buddhists. So non-Buddhists come here, anyone comes here, atheist, agnostic, it really does not matter at all. We just open our doors, we welcome everybody with love and care, and we take care of them, and we share whatever we have with them, and they share with us, and it's a really beautiful reciprocity that we go through. Another characteristic is isolation and control. So cults use isolation to keep people in line and to keep them so they're not getting different ideas. And we do the opposite where, we open our doors, we're not isolated, and we can engage with our families and friends. And so my parents have been here several times and they seem to really enjoy it. And it's really nice when other parents come and they see that we're in a really nice place, we're being cared for, it's very safe. And so, there's not this isolation. We try to limit our activities with friends and family. We don't want to be on the phone for hours and hours talking with this person and that person, all our childhood friends. But it's really helpful to have this focus on the Dharma so we don't get distracted in worldly activities, but we can really engage in what we think is valuable and important for our life. Another last characteristic of cults is that they discourage critical thinking. And this is the exact opposite of what we do here. We encourage critical thinking, and we do debate classes, and Venerable has taught the thick Daniel Perdue yellow debate book. And so we're challenged to question everything that happens, not in a rude way, but in a manner with curiosity and wanting to grow and to learn and to increase our intelligence. And to really get more and more soaked and involved in the Dharma, make it really an experiential part of our life. So I found by exploring the differences between cults and the Abbey that I found a real appreciation for what we're doing here, and I found some more clarity in our activities here and how it's so beneficial for ourselves and others. So let's keep doing that.